What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike Levenko, and week 2 is officially in the books. Jets fans, I'm sorry for that Trevor Siemian performance. Hopefully his leg's okay, but that mixed in with a little Luke Falk action is enough to make you turn off the TV a little bit early. At least Le'Veon Bell gave you a good effort on Monday night. Now, let me ask you, how's your fantasy team doing? Has the injury bug hit you yet? We have Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees' careers in jeopardy. Cam Newton has a mystery foot ailment. Or has your team suffered from the likes of Mike Evans or Joe Mixon? Trust me, and really, trust me, it's not easy seeing Chris Godwin perform while your second round pick, should we say, craps the bed. Today, I will give you a list of players who are underperforming to start the season that I think will turn it around and become the players who we thought they were this offseason. Now, how should you target these guys? I look for teams that are 0-2, the owners are panicking, and after Mike Evans was overshadowed by Chris Godwin on primetime, which really hurts me personally, there is a very important factor in finding your targets. Do not, and I repeat, do not look at the box score. I will get into more detail when these players come up on my list. Don't do it. I know you're tempted. Box scores always lie. They don't tell the whole story. Speaking of Mike Evans, he's the first guy I want to talk about on this list. Now, I hate Jameis Winston as a player. I've even called him a human trash can in my past videos. But Winston's bad play, or with any quarterback he's ever played with for that matter, hasn't stopped Evans from breaking down in the past, including last year when he had over 1,500 yards and 8 touchdowns. With just 6 catches for 89 yards and no touchdowns through his first 2 games in 2019, I can promise you the Evan owner, which I am, is a little bit panicking. Not to mention the fact that Chris Godwin has scored in both weeks. Evans caught a deep bomb for 41 yards in the Week 2 win over Carolina. He also had a red zone target where Evans couldn't get his other hand up for the touchdown. Evans was also targeted on 2 separate out routes where, if him and Winston connected, Evans is big enough to get into the end zone after the catch. Looking back to week 1, Evans was sick, and I actually believe it. He was constantly pulling himself out of the game and left the game after making a great diving catch over the middle. Mike Evans has been a great player for so long. Why do we think all of a sudden that he's bad? Evans looks to have a big bounce back week against the Giants. So I would buy him now because if he goes off against the Giants' bad secondary, it'll be too late. The next guy I have on this list is superstar tight end George Kittle. Here is where the box score can be deceiving. George Kittle, in week 1, had 2 touchdowns called back by penalties. So far this year, Kittle has 11 catches for 108 yards and no touchdown. It hurts to see the 49ers win big, 41-17, and Kittle only get 3 targets and 3 catches for 54 yards. You didn't pay a 3rd or 4th round pick for this kind of production. The 49ers have scored 31 and 41 points in their first 2 games. Not saying that's going to 100% reoccur, but if the offense can stay hot, Kittle will make up for his lack of production. I personally think it's hard to hold on to a good tight end if I have some holes on my roster. So look for the nervous Kittle owner and see if you can make a move. The third player on this list is another box score mirage. It's Stephon Diggs. Diggs had 1 catch for 49 yards and a touchdown against the Packers after busting in week 1. This is where the box score can mislead you. Diggs had a touchdown called back by a terrible offensive pick called that wiped away the touchdown. Also, Kirk Cousins played poorly in week 2. And in week 1, the Vikings were up so fast and so early that Cousins only threw 10 passes the whole game. Thielen didn't blow up the stat sheet either in week 2, with only 5 catches for 75 yards. A pretty good day, but nothing spectacular. We all know Diggs is a great player. I know it, you know it. But fantasy owners are going to be tired of his lack of production, plus his injury history makes him a perfect target for this list. Look for the Diggs owner who says, Cousins hates Diggs and loves Thielen. Thielen is so much better than Diggs, and make that trade happen. And number 4 on my list is DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks. This isn't necessarily a buy low, as it's more of a buy now before he blows up. Metcalf played 41 of possible 53 snaps in week 1, and in week 2 played 70 of 79 snaps, tying Tyler Lockett. Metcalf has been targeted 13 times through his first 2 games, and Russell Wilson is not afraid to give him the ball if he's open. Now, just look at the plays that I put on the screen. There was a 3rd and 9. He caught the pass on a slant, using his big body to box out the defender, but didn't get the first down, but it's still a good target. 2nd and goal, he gets a jump ball that's not thrown perfectly, but he draws the pass interference. Being in the targeted in the red zone is always a good thing. Next play, he catches a deep bomb against the Bengals in week 1 and almost takes it to the house. Same game, he gets a 3rd and 5 target and converts it on a Russell Wilson lob pass, where he trusts DK to get it, and he does. One of my favorite plays is the back shoulder throw in the Pittsburgh game. It's thrown low, and Metcalf has to make a fantastic hands catch, and he does. He's also a physical freak, with the ability to make a man miss after the catch in open field. And to top off his night against Pittsburgh, he gets one-on-one coverage and burns the defender for a touchdown, making a juggling catch. Metcalf seems to be a go-to player, and he hasn't disappointed yet this year. I would grab Metcalf while the big game blow-up hasn't happened yet, because Russell Wilson is a great quarterback and makes every throw count, and will be willing to throw up a few jump balls to DK Metcalf this season. The fifth and final player on my list is David Johnson. Now, Johnson is a hard player to evaluate. Was he a one-time superstar who is now just a pretty good player, but not quite the superstar we expected? Or was the Josh Rosen offense of 2018 the prime suspect for his subpar season? In Game 1, he ran the ball 18 times for 82 yards and caught 6 passes for 55 yards with a touchdown. It was a nice touchdown catch, you'll see it in the plays above. Then this happens in Week 2. He sustains a wrist injury, but comes back into the game, only playing 36 snaps compared to 70 plus in the first game. But on 36 snaps, he only ran the ball 7 times and only had 1 target. If Kingsbury was scared of using him because he was hurt, then why even have him in the game? I like this offense, and I think Kyler Murray has shown some big play potential completing deep throws. Where I think Johnson can improve is in the red zone. They have been pretty pass happy and haven't used Johnson very much in the red zone. In Week 1, the score is 17-3 Detroit, and the Cardinals are on Detroit's 8-yard line after a muff punt. First and goal, Johnson gets the carry and brings it down to the 1-yard line after being pushed out of bounds and reviewed by officials. Second and goal, Murray gets sacked for a loss of 1. So then, third and goal, on the 2-yard line, they throw and it's incomplete. So they settle for a field goal. Jumping ahead to the third quarter, with 7:12 left in the game, Johnson gets an 18-yard carry, then gets a 3-yard carry. Then the Cardinals go pass, and then kick a field goal. Jumping to the fourth quarter with 13:27 on the clock, Arizona's on Detroit's 17. Johnson gets the first down carry and gets a yard. Then Murray throws incomplete and incomplete again. Then on Detroit's 16, they kick a field goal. First and 10 from Detroit's 17 with a little over a minute left in the game. They run with Johnson for 3 yards, then pass. Use a timeout. Now it's first and goal from the 9-yard line with 52 seconds left. They pass and get a face mask call, so now it's first and goal from the 4-yard line. And they throw to Fitzgerald for the touchdown, and then on the 2-point conversion, they throw to Christian Kirk for the completion. In Week 2, Johnson does get a goal line touchdown, which is great, and what Murray can open up with his scrambling ability. But only getting 7 carries on 36 snaps with 1 target isn't great. Johnson's backup played 24 snaps and only carried the ball 1 time. So, against the Ravens, the Cardinals ran the ball a total of 11 times. Johnson is ready to go in Week 3 after the wrist injury, and here's why I think you should target him. That Week 2 stinker will be in people's minds, and look how many times Murray threw the ball in those games. 54 times in Week 1, which did go to OT, but still, 54 passes is a ton. And in Week 2, Murray threw 40 passes. I think in Week 3, Kingsbury realizes, hey, maybe my rookie quarterback shouldn't be averaging 47 passes a game, and hasn't been very good in the red zone. I look for Johnson to have a bounce-back game against the Carolina Panthers, who may be starting Kyle Allen if Cam Newton isn't ready to go with his foot injury. Alright, and that's it. Those were my 5 buy lows before Week 3. Sorry if my voice sounded a little different in those last few minutes, as I am a little sick, but we shall push on. I hope you guys can get some panicked owners in your leagues and make some great season-saving trades. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Comment down below who you think some buy low candidates are and who you think some sell high candidates will be for the next coming weeks. Give this video a like and subscribe as I try to put out a video every single week, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for listening.